The US has launched another wave of strikes on Iran. Earlier, President Trump threatened to bomb Iranian critical infrastructure such as bridges and power plants next week if Iran does not return to talks. In the latest wave of strikes, US Central Command said it had hit dozens of targets near the Strait of Hormuz as it tries to stop Iran from being able to threaten cargo ships using the vital shipping lane. Iranian state television said Iran had fired missiles and drones at targets in Kuwait, Bahrain and Jordan. Iran has threatened to block further trading routes in the region. Here's President Trump on his latest move.
We're doing really well with Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran is not happy right now. Should have been done 47 years ago. Should have been done at least during the 47-year period. And it wasn't. Other presidents didn't do what was right. They should have done it a long time ago. It would have been much easier. And they want to settle so badly. They don't like what we're doing. And they do want to settle. We'll find out whether or not we settle with them or we just finish it off.
Well, I spoke to Aman Mahmoudian, who's a research fellow at the Global and National Security Institute at the University of Southern Florida, to get his take on what's going on at the moment in the Gulf.
What we are facing right now is the semi-operational collapse of the Iran and United States Memorandum of Understanding. It is not formally dead, but on an operational level, it seems to be the collapse. Specifically speaking, if you look at the latest development, and we have witnessed that the United States is expanding the scope of its strikes against Iran. Up until today or yesterday, most of the strikes were limited to the southern shores of the Iran. But today, Iranian at least reported that the American strikes at the Khorramabad and also some provinces in central Iran, and local sources been arguing that they have heard anti-air defense activities in Tehran, in the capital. If we put all of these together, despite the fact that those strikes in the central provinces were performative shots by the United States to only deliver a message, or were actually a strike against the positions of the Iranians in those areas, this is an expansion of the escalation. And we are right now at the crossroad. One choice that both parties have ahead of themselves is to continue with their strikes, United States strikes against Iran, and Iran strikes against the US base or US allies, as the Iran so far attacked Kuwait, Jordan, and it seems, and some reports also suggest in other areas. And this would evidently escalate, and it might lead to the resumption of the war. The other path, it would be that both parties need to go back to the memorandum of the understanding, to the negotiation, which would require Iran allowing the shipments transformation through the Strait of the Hormuz, and United States halting the strikes and lifting the blockade on the Iran. I think the coming days would show us better that which direction they are going to choose.
Yeah. In the meantime, what is the fallout?
Well, in the meantime, there are signs that it seems to be positive. Iran, a couple hours ago, have released one of the individuals who have dual citizenship of the Iranian and American, and been detained by the Iranian government since December. While it might sound like a minor incident, it is actually, if we look at the pattern of the diplomatic talks between Iran and United States, it's a good sign. In past, during the President Obama, when Iran and United States were concluding the negotiations over the nuclear matter, which resulted in Iran's nuclear deal, we have witnessed the similar actions from the Iranian, releasing the US citizens and other Western citizens being captured by themselves. It shows that at some level, Tehran has the willingness to de-escalate. And President Trump, it seems to have a positive reaction to it. He said that United States of America appreciated that. And he seems to be involved in that specific matters, because the lawyer of that individual has mentioned that without the President Trump's support, that individual wouldn't have been released. So that's a good sign. This shows that there are talks that are happening behind the scenes, and those talks are positive. However, on a military level, what we are facing is a growth of the strikes from each side. And what is right now ahead of us is that basically we are moving backward, we are regressing toward the day before the conclusion of the memorandum of understanding, because the Strait of the Hormuz seems to, at least by Iranian, being shut down, the naval blockade being restored by the United States, the sanctions are back, Iran's attack against the Arab nations, it has started it. United States strikes against Iran not only started it, but is expanding toward the center of the Iran, which is alerting side. So we are officially at the day before the conclusion of the memorandum of understanding, which is a massive diplomatic setback for both sides.